Hello everybody, DarkPhoenix Gaming here, and welcome back to Let's Play Kaiserreich, Legacy of the Weltkrieg, as the Qing Empire. Last time, we had just finished up our war with the Yunnan clique, which gained us a whole host of new territories. And as a result, China, under the Qing Empire, not the false Chinese states of the Fentian Republic, which is Japan's bitch, or the Republic of China, the Qing Empire is on the rise, and we control vast swaths of China, all the way from the border with Central Asia, all the way over to here. And our next target has already been chosen. It's going to be the Republic of China. And right now, we are doing a bunch more recruitment of troops into our military to get what we're going to need for this whole affair. And I'm going to change some of my decision. I'm going to change some of the foreign country decisions so that they turn up in the pop-up boxes, because it's getting a little annoying having to constantly be dealing with pop-ups from other countries. Plus, I think it'd be kind of nice to not know which weird random decisions by other countries are leading to some of this stuff. Anywho, we have our production set up as we want. We'll have troops starting to trickle in. I'm going to just plonk down a couple more on the border. So a few over there where we have one division, and a few, and one in that place where we have 3 divisions. Then I want to try and get a couple down there, at least 2, so that they can just sort of hold the area. Then we'll attack. I mean, we don't know what our enemy has in terms of divisions, but the Republic of China has not been around for very long, so they'll have a fairly small army in comparison to us. And that's something we can deal with. And apparently moving towards interventionism does absolutely nothing. Nice. Very nice. Of course it would do nothing. And I'm moving that to the game log as well. Post-war tank research is done. Let's see, 1928. We need a bunch of stuff to get to that. 1924 artillery is the latest thing. Then tankette. Get your field artillery going on, please. And we can continue our upgrades. Restoration of the Qing Empire. With the Shang-Qing rebels and their pathetic rebellion finally defeated, our empire is well on its way towards full restoration. Many dangers lie ahead, as the territories under the control of the AOG, Fentian Republic, Yunnan warlords, Tibet, and Zibei Sanma will definitely try to protect their independence that they've achieved during the period of the years 1926 to 1936, and they will not hesitate to call upon foreign support to prevent us from achieving our goals of uniting China under a single banner. Our empire shall be restored. Of course, a lot of the things that they're talking about there are ones that are actually invalid, because it mentions nations that either no longer exist or the political realities have changed, and that event does not address that fact. And that's a little bit annoying, but it's something we're going to have to deal with. the fact that certain realities aren't addressed in some events. Next, we're going to go for pocket defense for our manpower focus. This for the doctrine. Intellectuals demand a constitutional monarchy. Various intellectual circles in Beijing and other major cities have issued a petition to the emperor to install a constitutional monarchy. This move is dangerous as it can weaken our stability. Nearly everyone in the court is opposed to this move for various reasons, mostly from fears about internal stability. We have no other choice. And we will arrest them. Seriously, constitutional monarchy. What nonsense. Next thing you know, they'll be asking for democracy. Seriously, democracy? Constitutional monarchy? Independence. Where are they getting all these ridiculous ideas from? Really? I mean, come on. It's just absurd. The New Reformation. International. Today, celebrations for the Year of the Tiger have ended, and again, Puyi is planning to take the stage tonight for a speech concerning the next year. What is the focus of Puyi's speech going to be tonight? The tiger is sensitive, thoughtful, and sympathetic, but short-tempered and loves to stir up trouble with authority. Well, I think the Emperor is going to choose to expand using sympathy and thought. My hope with this is it will allow us to... it'll give us more options to make some friends, so to speak, and work on our international alliances, so that we can then start having more friends than enemies. Because right now we definitely do not need more enemies. The Japanese are already a problem, and they despise us. Negative 198 opinion. We're going to have some serious Japanese problems in the future. That's going to be an issue that we'll have to do something about very quickly if we can. Japan is going to continue to be a problem, I think, until we drive them out of mainland Asia. And that's not even up for discussion. They're just going to be a pain for a while. More upgrades are ticking by. We can deploy another division. I'm going to deploy them there. Product standardization and interwar field artillery are both done. That was our industrial technology over here, and we can't hit assembly line just yet because that is too far in the future, basically. But what I can start researching is Construction 1930. It'll give us a load of boosts to our infrastructure and industrial capacity, and let us start boosting our industry up to the point where we have something resembling an industry, because right now China doesn't have any real industry. I mean, at this point we've reclaimed a good chunk of China for ourselves, but we still have less industry than Russia does at the start of the game. Russia. And that's saying something, considering Russia starts with like 91 IC. Right now, we don't even have that much. Balls. I forgot to set a new armor and artillery research. Let's see here. We need anti-air and tankette. Which anti-air is it? Interwar Anti-Air Artillery Brigade 1924. We'll have to go down those anti-air researches for a little bit to unlock that, because I need to keep progressing my tank research. Though I will admit, I find it to be ever so slightly annoying, the fact that I have to research these non-tank related technologies to unlock the next level of tanks. It makes no sense. Why would I have to have better artillery batteries? As the Transcaucasian Socialist Republic declares war on Armenia? As I was saying, why would I have to have better artillery batteries simply to be able to build, to be able to research how to make better tanks? That doesn't make any sense to me. No sense whatsoever. Turkestan and the Last Order are going at it. You have fun now. Another 2 divisions. I think those 3 there can be fine with what they've got. I want to get a few more divisions to add to there, and then we'll be ready for war. Now, I'm just going to drop a save. Blame my natural paranoia about playing this mod, and the fact that I don't want to lose progress if I crash for that. There we go. Have those. Intellectuals give support to the Kuomintang. Poets, painters, composers, and professors are against our regime. They view it as a backward, oppressive dictatorship, which doesn't solve any of the problems of modern China. Not surprising that they've voiced support for the Kuomintang and a united China. I'm sorry, we're going to have to throw them in prison. I was just checking if there were any particularly interesting events going on there. Nope. And the civil war in Russia is still bloody going on. Impressive. And would you look at that? The Pacific States of America are owning the Mexicans. Watch them decide that Mexico is their puppet now or something. It's probably what will happen. Wouldn't surprise me at any rate. Now, when are our next divisions due to come out? June. Middle of June, we'll have a few more divisions to add to the army on the front. let's see. Japan has claimed that our garrison has fired upon and killed 25 Manchurians and 12 Japanese, and as a result they're demanding we turn over our northern border to them for the safety of Manchurian allies. That would cede several regions, including our capital. We can't do that. It's not happening. And I think, and if this is anything like the events that we get in the vanilla game of Hearts of Iron, this will lead to war. I'm going to commence with a massive troop redeployment. So we're going to have to abandon the campaign against the Republic of China for now. And I will mass along the Japanese border for the most part. But I'm also going to redeploy down here to the border with Siam, as well as to this general region here, because this is Japan, and in my experience, the AI Japanese have a tendency to launch naval invasions against you. We're going to prepare for Japan to not be too happy with us for that, by redeploying our troops to strategic locations. We must bide our time. Let them think we have backed down. What does that mean? I mean, I know it means they're not going to be getting involved for now, as I was worried they would be doing. But the Japanese are still going to be a major headache for us. Alright, well, you guys don't need to be hanging out there, since we know that the Japanese aren't going to be heading over to say hi on our coastline immediately. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's Japan, so they'll probably want to give their well wishes to the denizens of the Chinese coastline eventually. But we have a touch of breathing room until they decide that's the thing they want to do. I'll redeploy our other armies once these guys arrive, so I know where everyone is at. Static anti-air artillery is done. On to the next level of that. So that we can start researching the brigades, hopefully. And then use that to be able to research our little friends, the tanks. Which I still say it's ridiculous that you need to research anti-air to be able to research tanks. It makes no sense. Which is why in a lot of ways, I prefer the Hearts of Iron 4 way of doing research, where every chain of research is basically independent of each other, in most ways. With a few exceptions, I mean. Like not being able to research certain infantry that use certain technologies unless you have those technologies, but other than stuff like that, they are pretty independent of each other. And research Interceptor 1937... Which reminds me, I can't do it just yet. that we need to start. Yeah, we need to start getting some fighters out. In addition to everything else, we need fighters. Because Japan is going to have fighters and bombers and maybe even transport planes. And we need to be able to shoot down what they're sending at us. But we need more industry to do that. Let's see. Is there an option to just build industry in here and then deploy it? Apparently it's not going to be that simple. We'll have to do some stuff in the core region over here. The more frontier stuff don't have such an option. But I'm just going to queue up a load of industry, and I'll send this to the top of our queue once we finish the war with the Republic of China. For now, we need to industrialize the shit out of China, is the plan. Because industry, my friends. Let's get on it. Industrialize. The Emperor has given the order for a shitload of industry. Need to be put into production. So make all the factories we can handle and then some, people. The Emperor demands it. The Emperor fucking demands it. And as everyone knows, the word of the Emperor is the word of the gods. So you dare not disobey. Or you will be damned to hell for all eternity, or the Confucianist version of hell, anyways. Do they even have a hell in Confucianism? I don't know. It's not a philosophy or a belief system I'm all that familiar with, so I have no idea. Let's see. Yeah, that's a lot of industry we're going to be pumping out. Once we eventually are able to get down to that in our production line, and or once I move it up, of course. Let's see, where have we sent everyone? Ah, I see. Early decryption devices. This is done. I can now research into basic decryption. To actually have a snowball's chance in hell of learning what the enemy is using, and would you look at that? We finally have a reasonable guess at how many divisions there are in each location. The question mark beside them, of course, makes it a little tricky because it's just an educated guess and we don't know for sure. I'm hoping to change that, but I can't guarantee it. Now, deploy on as many fronts as we can. It's the plan right now. Cover their border again. Let's hope it works out. And if it doesn't, I'll just have to redeploy again. And let's check where everyone's heading. Anyone going to Nanyang? Nope. So that's a viable place to redeploy one of these units to. Xi'an also. Cover all our bases, so to speak. Wanxian here. And forgive me if I'm absolutely butchering every Chinese word in existence. That's pretty much par for the course with me. Okay, do those redeployments. And something is happening. What is it? The Tuareg Confederation has declared their independence from the French Empire. Okay, now, this is one of those splinter groups you can get popping up out of the French there. Because the French Empire is, as it starts out, a very politically unstable realm, because it's all of France's colonies in Africa that they had left after the First World War, because they lost a good chunk of Morocco to the Germans. So they didn't have that anymore, and the French Empire, the French government in exile, after they lost out to the communists in their homeland, is a sort of loose confederation of French loyalists lording over the African colonials who outnumber them quite a bit. And it's a very unstable form of government, so they're not in a good place, as things are at the start of Kaiserreich. And it can go in a number of different ways. In this case, we have had a revolt by the Tuareg Confederation, and I imagine when I unpause, within about a day or two, they're going to declare war on the French Republic, or vice versa. And there's also the chance that a handful of other factions can pop up which can declare independence, and similar to something that you can have happen with Middle Africa, depending on how things go, this can actually lead to the collapse of the French. The old French government, I mean. It can lead to a French collapse in Africa, wherein all of their territory is basically partitioned and divided between a bunch of these African nations that will revolt and take back their independence from the old French loyalists. I've never actually seen that happen, so I don't know what that sort of event chain would look like in terms of who they would align with and what their relationship would be like with the Entente, because they would, since France, the French Empire, is technically a member of the Entente, along with Canada, the Caribbean Federation, and Australasia, that would technically mean that all those African nations, if they did successfully destroy the French Empire, would be at war with the Entente. So that could make for an interesting state of affairs. Not to say it will happen. For all we know, this could be the only revolting state, and France could crush them like bugs. But it's a possibility. The legation cities. Say, we could try and demand full reunification, but I'm going to wait to deal with the legation cities until we've dealt with the Republic of China. Because once we have control of this area of China, we'll have a land border with all the legation cities. Meaning that if they decide to resist when I demand reunification, I will essentially just be able to walk right in, provided I park my soldiers on the border with them. That will make things a lot easier on me if I could just walk in. And I would very much like to not have to deal with the headache of if the legation cities say no, then we have to fight a war that will involve a naval invasion. Especially since at this moment in time, my fleet is pretty much just for decoration. I mean, it sits there looking nice, but every single ship in my fleet is obsolete, and I don't have a single transport vessel. And what do you know, just as I predicted, the French Empire has declared war on the Tuareg Confederation. And shortly following that up, Guinea here has declared independence from France. The French Empire, it seems, is beginning to crumble. They have had war declared on them by France, unsurprisingly. And yes, the French Empire is beginning to crumble in upon itself. We'll have to see where this goes, and if France can withstand the pressure. And now, South Africa is having their own issues. South Africa is way down here. And they, actually, they used to be a British colony that, before that, was Dutch, but then the Dutch gave them to the British so Napoleon wouldn't get South Africa during his whole thing in Europe. So yeah, South Africa has a whole mess of a history going on I don't want to get into, but the South African Federation has declared war upon South Africa, and Rhodesia has declared independence from South Africa. I gotta be honest, I do not know a damn thing about the Kaiserreich lore surrounding South Africa, because, for one thing, at the beginning of the game, South Africa is not a member of the Entente. And I don't think they start out granting military access to Canada. But apparently, the South African Federation has a military alliance with Rhodesia. If I had to guess, Rhodesia is probably... Actually, I don't know what they are. I was going to guess that they were a group of the natives who revolted or something, and they had a deal with the Federation for better treatment if they supported them against South Africa. But I just realized that doesn't make much sense, because their leaders both have very British-sounding names and titles, and they have a flag of a member of the Commonwealth, so that wouldn't work. I have no idea what Rhodesia's deal is, or what's up with the South African Federation South Africa thing. If someone would care to clue me in, please do. I am totally confused here, and I could do with some clarification.